In Star Trek 2009, audience members and longtime Trek fans watched helplessly as one of the most iconic planets in the multiverse, Vulcan, was destroyed. Or was it? Today we will be discussing the possibility that Vulcan wasn't destroyed by the red matter singularity and instead traveled through it. Let's start the discussion with what we know currently about number 1, black holes and singularities, number 2, red matter, and number 3, what happens when something passes through the event horizon. First, let's talk about black holes and singularities. There are two types of singularities used inside of Star Trek 2009, a space-time singularity and a gravitational singularity. Technically both are gravitational, but this isn't a physics lesson, you'll get the point. A space-time singularity is a location in space-time where the gravitational field of a celestial body becomes infinite in a way that does not depend on its own coordinate system. While a gravitational singularity is a region of space-time exhibiting such strong gravitational effects that nothing, not even particles and light, can escape from it. So, how do they use these two concepts in Star Trek 2009? Well, according to Old Spock, the Vulcan Science Academy created something called quote-unquote red matter around the year 2387. Red matter was derived from decalithium, an extremely volatile and powerful substance found in remote regions of the Beta Quadrant. With this red matter, a single drop of it could be used to create an artificial singularity. That is, either type of singularity. The Vulcan Science Academy wasn't too precise in its measurements, and the red matter was theoretically capable of creating both a gravitational and space-time singularity. This is evident in the fact that the Hobus supernova was sucked into a black hole, while both Nero and Spock were transported back in time. Now that we understand a little bit about singularities and how red matter works, let us look at what happens when things pass through the space-time event horizon. The ship carrying all the red matter was known as the quote-unquote jellyfish for a reason. It was pretty damn small. And I'm not a fancy science man, but let's just say that this ship was too small to get affected by the space-time event horizon. So let's cross that one out. With that being said, Nero's Romulan mining ship is freaking massive. So if the singularity was dangerous, there's no way it wouldn't have gotten somewhat affected by it. But it didn't. In fact, both ships actually came through fine and still functioning perfectly. So what does that tell us? Well, it would appear that ships and people can travel through these volatile space-time singularities with relative ease. Now let's tie all this stuff and return back into the topic at hand, which was Vulcan really destroyed? Well, in the film, Chekhov states that a singularity was being formed at the center of Vulcan. There was no word on exactly what type, just that it was inside of the core of the planet. At this point, we know red matter is capable of creating either a gravitational or space-time singularity. If the result of Nero's attack was a gravitational singularity, then a black hole would indeed be formed and Vulcan would be destroyed. However, if a space-time singularity enveloped the planet, wouldn't it make it through just like the starships did? Well, I'm not sure the planet itself would still be intact or even still habitable. In order for life to be sustainable on planets, they need some pretty specific orbits and rotations around the sun. A space-time singularity would undoubtedly send the planet into some random bit of space, and it would most likely look like this. I think there is a potential for some explorers, Federation or otherwise, to one day find the destroyed remains of the planet Vulcan floating around in space somewhere. It's a 50-50 chance that Vulcan wasn't actually sent into a black hole, instead it was sent either into the future or even into the past. It could actually be, floating around 30,000, 100,000, 30 years past the time it was actually destroyed, just zipping around inside of the Alphas or Beta Quadrant, and somebody just hasn't rediscovered it yet in the Kelvin timeline. But Spock's mom is still definitely dead, and them really cool looking statues in the Catcher car are totally gone. Anyways, that concludes today's discussion videos. I'm curious to hear what you guys and gals think about this idea. Do you think that Vulcan was in fact sucked into the black hole and gone forever, or do you feel like I do that it was maybe transported to a different space and time, part of the Kelvin timeline universe, where maybe it went to the past or even into the future, like all the debris just moved around and is now just floating aimlessly around in space? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. Thank you for guys checking this video out. Please throw a like and a subscribe up on YouTube, and follow me on Twitter at RealKetwolski, and follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/RealKetwolski. Thank you guys again for checking this video out. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!